Well, let's see who else we have here today. I'm going to get started here. Hi, Amy. Amy's here. Hi, Brian. Carol's here. Hi, Carol. Hi, Craig. Hi, Jen. And John's here. Hi, Nick. And Tomas is here. Good to see you guys all, or see your names. Hi, Joyce. People are coming in. Oh, Ed's here too. Hi, Ed. I just can't get away from that romper room feeling when I do this, but was
it Miss Marianne?
I was really young when that was on. I mean, I think I caught it in reruns. I swear.
You just need your special little magnifying glass thing.
Yeah, I have this. I'll look through my, anyway. So we're going to start this puppy. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the meeting. I'm gonna do something here. What is it? Darn. Well, here we go. So I'm gonna, yep, we'll leave that there. So it's good to see everybody. Welcome. Tell us if you're a guest. And, oh, this is exciting, really. I swear to God. We're getting this close to getting our Facebook and website banner put up with our pictures. So this is the last time that you have to send in your picture if you haven't done it. And if you don't do it, we're all going to be sad. So if you haven't done it, please do so, and we'll have that up pretty soon. Thanks to Ed. Ed, I want to give you a shout out for helping us get the website cleaned up a little bit and talking to people about getting things on there. I really appreciate you doing that. And I want to get rid of this. There we go. Hold on a second. I'm trying to figure out how I can see all of you people, because right now I can't. That makes me sad. Huh, how about this? How about this? How about, I'm just closing everything and it's not working. Wow. All right, there you are. Hey. All right, guys. You're on the wrong screen though. Well, son of a gun. Do you still see the screen that I was sharing, or is it gone? Well, good. I'm glad. I can't see it anymore. Let's do this. There we go. There we are. All right. You'd think after doing this more than once. So we're going to start in here. We had a crew do some cleanup. And a couple of our folks aren't in the picture that helped us. Mike's not in the picture, and Glenn isn't. But and I can't remember the dog's name. Brian, what was your dog's name again?
Baby.
Baby. Yeah. So we've collected a good amount. Anybody want to talk about this or tell us the most interesting thing you found on your on your pickup?
The dump bill was for 150 pounds.
Okay, I thought you were going to say $150, and I was about to like lose it.
Oh no, it was only $12, but it was 150 pounds that we picked up.
Nice.
So that's good. Yeah. Yeah, we got a lot of amazing comments. There was there were entertaining stories to be found when you go out and meet up with the street people early in the morning sometimes. But it also was really lovely and has made my walk from my office. It's nice to not see quite as many cigarette butts around, but yeah, thanks everybody for turning out. It's pretty amazing. how much
Yes.
garbage.
So if you're going to leave cigarette butts, you guys just don't do it on the street between Jessica's house and her office, but do it somewhere else. Yeah, it was fun. Thank you, everybody, for being out there. And I think there's a regular cleanup that they've got scheduled now for Northtown. I think it's the last Sunday of the month. I don't know if Romy's here, if she knows anything about that or might mention that, but there's plenty of opportunities to clean up the streets anytime you want. Oh, I know. What I did at one point is I went down to my house and decided, since I had, the pick and everything, to clean up around my house. And as I was doing it, I kind of started laughing because here I am at my house and my neighbors are seeing me wearing outside with a pick, wearing a vest, cleaning up around my own yard. And I thought, this is insane, because who goes out in their own yard, puts a vest on and starts cleaning up? So that was kind of embarrassing, but anyway, at least I got it done. Oh God. So Lisa, do you want to tell us, are we organized?
I'm sorry, what am I going to say?
I think, Maggie, your slides are not advancing.
Oh, yeah. You know why? Because I don't know why, but I'm going to put it back on again. For some reason, my life is not the way it's supposed to be this morning. Sorry about that, guys. Do you see anything now?
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
Maybe. So Backpack for Kids. So last week I sent out a letter last weekend, and I think everyone got it. I put our members in. So when you look at the printout, you'll see where you fall. And next week is when we start, and Mike is picking up, and then he's going to bring it over to my house, and we'll pack here for the first time, so that then everyone can sort of get their groups together. Where you're going to pack, and just get things organized on your side. And if you have any questions about anything, you can always call me. Mike and I are always there for backup, and I think John is also. John's going to be sending out a Sign Up Genius, if he hasn't done so already. I didn't see it this week. So, but he'll be sending it out so that I can monitor and see, making sure that everything's being taken care of. So it's going to be fun, and we've got a lot of people that are willing to step up and help out. So it's great. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Lisa. And it's a work in progress. So I'm glad that the crew in fall you're the guinea pigs. You're going to get it figured out so that those of us that come after you will have more smoother sailing. So I appreciate everybody who's jumping into the fray right now, and we'll get it done. We're really excited about that. Do we want to mention anything about backpacks other than that, Lisa?
Like
our generous donor.
Well, yes, I did get an email via Greg Foster from an anonymous donor, and they have donated $3,000 towards Backpack for Kids, which really helps out so much. And he has an amazing story as to why he is giving as much as he is. And it's just wonderful that there's people out there in the community that are just willing to step up and do that. And it's been great. So we're going to use that to help with, we usually start with less than 30 children, and it's $300 per child. So, and last year we got up to 43 children. So it sort of puts a dent in our budget a little bit, and we usually have to ask for help, but we might not have to this year because we had a big donation. So I thank him very much.
Lisa, if I may add something. Lisa and I were talking about organizing our people for backpacks. And one possible way of organizing is one group in the McKinleyville area, one group in Arcata, and one group in Eureka. And if you can organize 3 or 4 or 5 people for each of those, then we can rotate those around and not everybody work every single week in picking up, packing, and delivery. So that's just something for everybody to think about when you look at the signups and you start calling each other to help us out in getting organized. So thanks.
Yeah, that makes sense, because if you're on the team, why drive all the way to McKinleyville when a bunch of you can do it from Eureka or whatever? So yeah, it's anything that works. Be creative. Thank you for that idea, and thanks, Lisa. So Mike, we're gonna have you kind of give us a heads up here on this one.
Yeah, November 11th falls on a Wednesday next month. It'll be a busy Wednesday with backpacks and everything else, but we're going to sponsor the same as we did last year, the flag ceremony at the Arcata Plaza. I will go down about 7:30 in the morning and with the help of city, put the flags up. And then at 4 o'clock, we'll have a ceremony that will be 30 minutes in length or less. And it'll be the same kind of thing. I do need to get help. Those of you who are veterans, who are connected to veteran organizations, reach out, give me phone call, give me contact information. I've been trying to reach Jeff Sterling at the Vet Center in Arcata, and so far I haven't gotten anything back from him. So I'm not connected at the moment, which makes me nervous. Other veteran organizations are in the area. Please help. Feed me information. I will contact them, and I'll keep you informed on how things are going. But it'll be, again, November 11th is on a Wednesday next month. Thank you.
Great,
Just-
thank you. Oh, yeah,
Maggie, if I
Yes.
could, as a quick piggyback on that, that is the second Wednesday of the month, which means it's Sunrise Swednesday. And so we do anticipate having a club social on that evening, and we would like to make it sort of somewhat Veterans Day themed. So we would encourage people to bring a photo and a story of a vet that might be in their lives. So that's a little, mark your calendars for that evening. We'll also have a little Sunrise Swednesday chance to connect with your fellow Rotarians.
Great, thank you. It'll be a busy day, but it will be a fun day. Good stuff. So, excuse me, Carol, I see you need to make an announcement. I'd love to have you do that. You want to do that now?
Yeah, I just wanted to piggyback briefly about the backpacks for kids. Sorry, I've been a little disconnected from Rotary, but as my Food for People board member, we so appreciate the support of all the Rotary groups. And I just wanted to let you know that this next Friday is the official launch of the capital campaign for Food for People. And they're getting ready to demolish the old building and rebuild. And it's a pretty big deal. Carly will be giving a program about Food for People in a couple of weeks. But this virtual, maybe some of you have seen the announcement, but it's a virtual launch just for a half hour on October 9th at noon. And Greg Foster is going to be the MC because he's been a great supporter and advisor. And I'll send you a little email about that. Maybe you could circulate to members.
Great, yeah, I have that on my calendar, and we get to go over there and hit the building with a sledgehammer, right?
I wish I could say right, but I know we talked about having a pay to smash event, but with COVID, we're going all virtual. So, but it'll be a very fast paced half hour at noon. on the 9th, and Senator McGuire will be there live too. He's a big supporter, and I really appreciate everybody in Rotary who support Food for People activities, and it's a pretty big deal, and it's been especially challenging for Food for People to move out of that building and be relocated. So all the support that everybody gives for backpacks and the food bank in general is very much appreciated.
Carol, I have a real quick question. Where exactly is their place right now on Cedar?
You know, that is a brand new spot on Cedar, and I am going there this morning for the first time to deliver food to seniors this morning. So I will know more later. I've got to figure that out myself. We've all been relocated. There's multiple sites that Food for People is. I'll send you some info about that.
All right. Thank you.
President Maggie?
Yes.
As long as we're on service, I'd like to, I did not attend last week's meeting because I had an old number and didn't check my email, so I apologize for that. But I was rescued by past President AJ and by Foundation Chair Terry Clark, and I want to thank them both for allowing me to see the meeting, first of all, and then to also to put out in Sunrise Spirit. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Dick got locked out, and just so you guys all know, once the meeting starts, I'm not looking at email, but I will see a text, and but text each other, because I might or even call. You could call me too. I don't mind. So sorry about that, Dick. But now we're all straight.
Not your fault, mine.
So wanted to remind everybody we're doing our fundraising, and that if you want to join the No Breakfast Club and donate some of your savings from not paying for breakfast every week to the club, it will help us get closer to our goal. And then I wanted to share this. I think we're going to be doing this. Does anybody have any reporting they want to say about the Oktoberfest on the 25th? I don't know if I've
Planning
lost.
a meeting.
Okay.
We just don't have it planned quite yet. I think it's going to be next Wednesday.
Okay.
And that's kind of where we are right now. If anybody wants to help, they're more than welcome to jump on board.
And yes, I was going to say something on that too. Yes, if anybody's looking to assist in the program, we'd love to see you guys Wednesday at the Griffin at 5 o'clock for the meeting, to just go over some plans, get it all taken care of. I know it's a little bit shorter on a time span, but I believe everybody can do it. So we got this covered.
You're meeting at 5? Is that what you said?
Yes, yeah, 5 o'clock. 5 on Wednesday.
Okay. Because that's sometimes a little early for some people to get to.
Okay.
Are you able to make it a little later?
Yeah, we could do about 5:30 instead. We'll push it to 5:30.
Yeah, because I know AJ has trouble getting to a 5:30 meeting, and sometimes I do too. So, but yeah, that's 5:30 is much better than 5.
Perfect. Sounds good. 5:30 it is.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, guys. All right. Oh, I'm going to go back for a minute. There's something I wanted to say. I wanted to thank Lori for letting me have some, the fish fry. She shared her tickets with me, and Cam for thinking about offering it to me. I would appreciate that. It was very yummy yesterday. Southwest Rotary put on a great thing, and I almost only got one meal, but Cam figured it out, and I only needed one for myself. I mean, I didn't need 2, but I had someone else I was sharing with. So it was very yummy. Did anyone else do that? The fish fry thing? Terry, did you have it?
The Chris and Lisa enjoyed it with a couple of our neighbors. We picked it up and made it a little delivery run, and I was very impressed with what they were able to put together and put in a nice little box for us. Yeah,
it was nice. So we're going to do something like that, but it will be this instead. So Sunrise Swednesday is the 14th. Any details, Jess, you want to share with us on that one?
I'm gonna just ask, is Tammy here this morning? I haven't seen her. I'm not quite, let's just see.
I'm here.
Oh, good.
Yay.
Yay. So maybe Tammy, you can speak to what's gonna happen on the 14th of October.
Yeah, so I'll send out a, hold on just a second. I was sitting in my massage chair, so my voice sounds funny. I'm going to sit out Sign Up Genius today. And what we're going to do is tonight, I'm actually going to do an art night through a group that I paid for. It's online. And I'm going to do the same picture, and I'll get everybody info on what kind of supplies you need, and also help people get supplies. And we'll do an in-person, I think at the Griffin is what we ended up choosing as a venue. We'll do an in-Griffin or in-person paint night, and then we'll also have a Zoom option for people to do a paint night too. And it's a really pretty little sunflower painting. I'll send a picture of what we'll be painting, and it'll be beginner level, and I'm not a professional artist, so it'll just be fun to see what we come up with.
Cool, that's very cool. Thank you. Some dates to save. Oops. And we've got the District Conference and Foundation Celebration on Saturday, October 24th, and our equity training, equity and diversity workshops in January. So I'm going to, we're in October now, and October 24th is World Polio Day, and we are going to spend a little time at each meeting this month talking about what that means, talking about what's happened, and what needs to still happen. But it's we really are this close, and it's really exciting. I wanted to share a little bit about this fellow here, Tunji Funsho. He's the first Rotarian to be named one of Time Magazine's 100 most influential people, and it's for his work in Nigeria, primarily in Nigeria, and he's a former cardiologist, and he's the chair of the Rotary International's polio eradication program in Nigeria. In 2013, he decided to step up to lead the effort in Nigeria when he saw so many kids being paralyzed by polio. And working again, of course, with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the WHO, the CDC, and UNICEF, he and Rotary helped lead national immunization days, getting millions of doses of polio vaccine to children in cities and villages all around the nation. They also sponsored health and education initiatives at community center, mosques, and even birthday parties. This summer, Nigeria marked 4 years without a case of wild polio, qualifying it for its polio-free certification. And this now leaves Afghanistan and Pakistan as the only places in the world in which polio remains endemic. And he says that certification will be an achievement. He said this back in 2018. He said certification would be an achievement, but we're not in a hurry for that. We're in a hurry to make sure no child is paralyzed. So in Nigeria and in Africa as a whole, that moment has arrived. And it's just, we can't imagine here what this is like. But it's an amazing achievement, and to be able to do that for your country. So it's pretty amazing. And I bet you can tell which one he is by the picture. So we're doing what I'd like us to think about is what I call one child, all children, which is to realize that vaccines, each child has to get 4 vaccines, and they cost about $250. So that's $10 to vaccinate one child and keep them from getting polio and having it potentially kill them, but if nothing else, totally change the outlook for their life in many ways. And what is happening in our district is we're doing what's called the Polio Plus Society, which is if you donate a minimum of 100 per year to Polio Plus each year until the WHO declares the world free of polio virus. As a Polio Plus Society member, you would get a special pin, you would get an End Polio Now wristband, and a certificate proclaiming that you're a member. And most importantly, you'd have the personal knowledge that you're committed in this battle to the end. Your donation right now, any donation to Polio Plus is being matched 2-to-1 by the Gates Foundation, and you will also, for joining Polio Plus Society, you will receive Paul Harris recognition points. And if you do it by October 24th, yes, there's more, they'll double your recognition points because Rotarian is donating those. So what I want you to think about this next month is how many children do you want to help? How many children can you help and keep them from having to be a victim of polio? It's $10 a kid, $10 a child. So I want us all to be thinking about that this next month. We will have a presentation the day before the 24th, our 23rd, our meeting on the 23rd. Bob Rogers will be presenting to us specifically about polio, and our auction for this month will go to our Polio Plus pledge. She looks like a willing child in this one here. So thank you for that. I wanted to share that a little bit. And Nick, are you ready for us to do the raffle?
Yep.
Oh, there he is. Ruh-roh.
All right. So today is $80 is the pot, and those two gift certificates for $25. And today's winner is Craig. Let's see what you won today.
Woo-hoo.
$5. I will pay you through Venmo, and good luck next time.
Yay, thank you. So, whoops. So our featured speaker today is Claire. And I'm really excited about this because, I was thinking that some days are harder than others. And we're all going through a lot of challenges just keeping up with, I don't need to explain to you what's going on in our world. But I know that I sometimes struggle and just, have some days where I need someone to help or I need something to help. And I reached out, and Claire offered to talk to us a little bit about something that she's very passionate about that could help us all in our daily lives. So Claire, I'm going to stop sharing here, and then I'm going to turn it over to you. And thank you, Claire, so much for being with us today as a professional presenter.
Thank you. I don't know about professional presenter, but
you're a professional who's presenting.
There we go. So I'm going to put this on slideshow. So you all probably already know me, unless we have some guests, but I am a local school psychologist and licensed educational psychologist. I work in private practice and also at Laurel Tree Charter School in Arcata and at HSU for the school psychology program. And I went back to school later in life after I could, with 4 kids and a husband. And I got very interested in mindfulness. I really started to practice mindfulness when I was in my internship in McKinleyville School District. and found that it really supported me in managing the stress of and intensity of internship, and to actually be better able to serve the people I was working with. So my thesis project for my master's degree was on using or developing a mindfulness practice as a school psychologist, and how that supported me through internship. So that was where the mindfulness piece came in for me. I kind of wax and wane on my my scheduled practice of mindfulness, but I really find that just even 10 to 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes each morning is incredibly helpful to help the rest of my day go more smoothly. And just real quick, I'm presenting on ACT, which is a mindfulness-based behavioral therapy. So just to let you all know, there are local mental health resources if anyone is having any more significant challenges. Self-help might not be the right thing, but we do have wonderful mental health practitioners here, and with telehealth today, you can really see anyone you want in the state. I'm a big proponent of counseling. I feel like it's no different than going to the doctor for any other condition. I think it's incredibly powerful. So Psychology Today is one area where you can search specifically for an ACT practitioner if you're interested in that, or someone who works with mindfulness. So ACT was developed in the 1980s and 1990s. It originated with Dr. Hayes' work at the University of Nevada, and I believe he's still at the University of Nevada. It has gained ground throughout the world. It is, I believe, the only therapeutic modality that has its own theory called relational frame theory, which is actually pretty complicated. It comes up through the root of behaviorism. So a very simple definition of sorry, I'm going to make my thing smaller here, of relational frame theory is that it's a theory of language and cognition and how these relate to the human experience. Both RFT and ACT are empirically based, meaning there's a lot of really solid research behind them, and ACT is used through many environments, many age groups, really kind of any age group. It's used a lot by the Veterans Administration to support veterans who've had challenging experiences. It's used in schools, it's used in business, it's kind of goes across boundaries and professional areas. So it is a mindfulness-based behavioral therapy, and it emphasizes acceptance, compassion, forgiveness, present moment awareness. These are all parts of mindfulness. It really focuses on living a valued life and accessing a transcendent sense of self. So really understanding that we are not our thoughts and feelings, and we can be separate from our thoughts and feelings. It uses metaphor, which is really nice. There are a lot of visual metaphors and small videos on YouTube that you can watch to kind of grasp the concepts around ACT, things like the sushi thought train or a thought train. I have a few metaphors at the end of the presentation that I hope we have time for me to show you. I forgot to set my timer, so please give me a warning, Maggie. It also uses paradox, mindfulness, and then it's a behavior intervention related to one's values. So I'll explain that more as we go on. The goals of ACT are really to live a meaningful life and to accept the pain that life can bring. It involves committed, mindful action that's rooted in our values, and this leads to a meaningful life. And I really think it relates to Rotary, because in Rotary, we have values, and we value global health and supporting the world and our local communities. And we do things, we have committed action that aligns with our values, and with our participation in Rotary, I think we do add much meaning to our lives. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't do it. In ACT, we talk about private experiences. So those are just thoughts and feelings and memories and such. We all have challenges in life. None of us get through life without difficulties. It's just part of the human experience. And ACT teaches us to accept our difficult thoughts and feelings rather than trying to suppress or avoid them. And it uses mindfulness to be able to do that. So really learning to be in the present moment, learning to be curious and not judge our thoughts and feelings and kind of observe them is incredibly helpful to being able to accept them. And through acceptance of difficult thoughts and feelings, they actually lose some of their power. So ACT focuses really on a valued life. This is an interesting piece because most therapeutic modalities are focused on reducing your symptoms that are challenging. But in ACT, the focus is not on symptom reduction. That just happens to be a byproduct of ACT. So it's really focused on the assumption that suppressing or getting rid of symptoms is causal to mental health challenges. And the research on suppression shows that when we try to suppress something, we actually increase it. So ACT assumes that describing a private event, that's just our thoughts and feelings, as a symptom leads to a struggle, like an internal struggle. And it's focused on helping us to transform our relationship with difficult thoughts and feelings rather than trying to avoid them. So ACT does not assume healthy normality. Western psychology does. And ACT really looks at the statistics around mental health. In any given year, almost 30% of the population will suffer from a mental health disorder. So that sounds more normal than not. And ACT assumes that human language is the basis for our suffering. Human language is, the mind is a metaphor for human language in ACT. And we learned that human language and our thoughts that derive from this are an amazing tool for planning and predicting and creating and imagining and analyzing. But there's also a dark side to human language that allows us to other people, to see people as others, to be violent, judgmental, prejudiced, and hateful. So not all thoughts are helpful to us. ACT is unique in that it, again, really helps us to not avoid experiences. So as human beings, we are problem solvers. We want to fix things, get rid of it. You know, I'm anxious. I want to get rid of this feeling. I'm going to just ignore it. But in the end, if we're avoiding what we're anxious about, for example, we actually reinforce the avoidance behavior, and it increases our anxiety or whatever feeling it is that we're having. Again, the more we try to avoid or suppress thoughts or feelings, the stronger they become, and this leads to psychological suffering. So ACT uses those therapeutic interventions based in mindfulness to help us stop wrestling with internal experiences. There are 6 core principles of ACT. Diffusion is being able to kind of take the power out of our thoughts, to kind of separate from our thoughts. So say I had the depressive thought, I have no friends. So I could do some diffusion exercises of picturing that on a birthday cake, like happy birthday, you have no friends, or picturing it on a banner behind an airplane in the sky, have a great day, you have no friends. And it just takes the power out of it to be able to look at the thought that way. And then also to be able to accept and kind of lean into our difficult feelings and experiences, to be in the present moment, to be able to observe ourselves and understand that we are not our thoughts and feelings, and they can be separate from us or distanced from us. It aligns with, we do a lot of work on values and really thinking about values, and then taking committed action that's based in our values. And I just want to check the time real quick. This is called the hexaflex. So this is just a visual for what acceptance and commitment therapy is. There are the behavioral change processes and the mindfulness processes. And then there are these core features. Again, those are the core values of ACT. So I personally really love John Kabat-Zinn's work in mindfulness, but there are a lot of great mindfulness people out there. He started the mindfulness-based stress reduction clinic at the University of Massachusetts, which we know has been incredibly effective for people who are dealing with chronic disease and chronic pain and such. And he just has a lot of good, good books and information out there. I have kept the book Everywhere You Go, There You Are, which is his writings. I use that almost every morning to read like a small passage that kind of helps me set my day. So there are many expensive mindfulness programs out there. You don't need to do a super expensive program or go to a 2-week silence retreat unless you want to, of course. There are a lot of free resources. My favorite one is the UCLA Mindfulness Awareness Research Center, or the MARC Center. You can go to their website and get free podcasts, all kinds of information about mindfulness. You can get guided meditations, and then they also have a free app called Mindful, which is wonderful. If I wake up at 2 in the morning, I'll put on a body scan meditation and put in my earbuds, and pretty soon I'm asleep. So keep in mind that that's a good resource for free things. You can also pay for classes if you want, but I don't think that you have to. I think that you can get self-help books and other resources and develop your own mindfulness practice without spending a lot of money. So the model that I use of ACT with the young people I work with, it's a nice, simple way to think about the ACT concepts. It breaks down our psychological spaces into the discoverer space, the noticer space, and the advisor space. So the advisor space is basically our self-talk and our thoughts. So if I was stuck, say I'm a child who has math anxiety, or an adult who has math anxiety, I could go into all kinds of thoughts. You can't do this. You're not good at math. Don't even try. You should just go home and pretend you're sick, or, all kinds of thoughts I could go into with my advisor to avoid doing what makes me anxious, which is math. Or I could step into noticer space and become aware of the sensations in my body, recognize that I'm feeling anxious. My palms are sweaty. My stomach feels weird. I do kind of feel sick. I think I'm anxious. The noticer space is really where mindfulness lives, and it's our ability to be in the present moment and recognize what's going on with us. Then I could step into the discoverer space and be willing to try something new. And I could talk with myself in my advisor space about math is hard for me, but I can learn and I can ask for help and the teacher can help me. And then I'm in a different space, and I've just found a way to get unstuck. So moving between these psychological spaces is one way of looking at psychological flexibility. Then we also learned that our values are a compass that really guide our behaviors. So when someone is having, maybe struggling with a behavior, being able to align behaviors or, talk about, does that behavior align with your values, is very useful. We also learn that our strengths are what we do, not what we are. Again, the focus is on behavior. So if I think my strength is that I'm a kind person and I was just super rude to my husband, I might go into I'm not kind. I thought I was a kind person. I'm not a kind person. I'm terrible. I can't believe I said that. I can't believe I did that. But with using ACT techniques, I could go to a different space. So I could go to, wow, I really value being kind. And that was an unkind thing I did. I think I'm going to apologize and just go back to being kind. So it's a kind of a healthy way that when we make errors, instead of beating ourselves up about them, we can just go back to what we value. A&D is a method that we use in DNAV, but this is a technique that's used throughout many therapeutic techniques. Anyway, it is around the world is a research-based intervention for mental health, and it's simple. So it's just pausing, becoming aware, noticing the sensations in our bodies, and then describing it as a feeling. So the more we understand our feelings and can recognize them, it's incredibly helpful to us. So that's something that we focus on. That's something that I use all the time. I'm not feeling right. I'm going to pause. What am I feeling in my body? Oh gosh, that is anger. I'm feeling angry. What am I mad about? And it allows me to kind of separate myself from my feelings, take a pause. No, I don't have to act on my feelings. I can just recognize them and let them be. And they pass eventually, which is another thing that I always teach to students, that all feelings are normal. the work of Carla McLaren. She's an emotions researcher. She's got some great books out there. She teaches that feelings are our basic cognitions. We really need our feelings and all of them to survive in this world. All feelings have a purpose, and they're kind of like balloons. They get larger, smaller, they deflate, they float away. And sometimes they get so big they pop, but they're always changing. And then also expanding your feelings vocabulary is also very good for our mental health. So this is, I always have a feelings wheel for the students that I work with, so they can really think about what feelings they're having and describe it. And there are more feelings than even in this wheel, but this is a nice one. Self-compassion is a really important component of mindfulness and also of acceptance and commitment therapy. You know, I have kids who are very compassionate towards other, but when I bring up the idea of being compassionate to themselves, I had one student say to me, I don't know how to do that. So, you know, it was uncomfortable for that student to think about offering himself the kind of self-compassion that he offers others. But what we learn through mindfulness and ACT is that we need to start with ourselves, accept ourselves non-judgmentally, and offer compassion and kindness to ourselves. Kind of step out of any harsh self-judgments that we might have. So there are lots of resources on ACT. The Get Out of Your Mind and Into Your Life is Stephen Hayes, one of Stephen Hayes's books that was very popular. The Happiness Trap by Dr. Russell Harris is awesome. I also like the illustrated version of the Happiness Trap because it takes the concepts and puts them into pictures. And I find that really useful for students that I work with who have autism or ADHD, where, you know, oftentimes people with autism do very well learning through visual modalities. And for my students with ADHD, sitting down and reading a book could be really taxing, but looking at a picture to get a concept is really helpful. And then the DNA V model has some books also. There are many more books on ACT out there, and I will send a list of resources to Maggie this weekend so that she can send them out to you all if you're interested in learning more. I did want to show a video. I know we don't have a lot of time left, so I think I'm going to start with the Face COVID video by Dr. Russ Harris, because it really takes those ACT concepts that I just talked about and applies them to the situations that we're facing right now. So let me see, are you able to, you're probably not able to see this, huh? I think I have to go back in and reshare with you. Sorry, I'm gonna have to make this bigger and new share, okay. I'm just gonna share my desktop and do it that way. It's the best I can do. And go to, oh, I know I pulled this up already. There we go. Okay, can you all see that?
When we face a crisis of any sort, fear and anxiety are inevitable. They are normal, natural responses to any challenging situation infused with danger and uncertainty. Face COVID is a set of practical steps for dealing with such situations. F is for focus on what's in your control. You can't control what happens in the future. You can't control coronavirus itself or the world economy or what other people do, and you can't magically control your thoughts and feelings. Fear, anxiety, and worry are inevitable, but you can control what you do here and now. So let's focus on that. A is for acknowledge your thoughts and feelings. Silently and kindly acknowledge whatever is showing up inside you. Thoughts, feelings, emotions, memories, sensations, urges. With curiosity, notice what's going on in your inner world. You might say to yourself, I am noticing feelings of anxiety, or I'm having thoughts about getting sick, or I'm having feelings of loneliness. And as you continue acknowledging your thoughts and feelings, bring in the next step, which is C, come back into your body. Find your own way of connecting with your physical body. For example, you might try slowly pressing your feet hard into the floor, or slowly pressing your fingertips together, slowly stretching your arms or your neck, or shrugging your shoulders, or slowly breathing. And as you acknowledge your thoughts and feelings and come back into your body, you then move to E, which is for engage in what you're doing. Get a sense of where you are here and now and refocus your attention on the activity at hand. Notice 5 things you can see, 5 things you can hear. Notice what you can touch and taste and smell. Notice what you are doing and give your full attention to that activity. And then C is for committed action. This means effective action guided by your core values. Action you take because it's important to you, even if it brings up difficult thoughts and feelings. Of course, this includes following official guidelines on what to do during this crisis. But in addition, ask yourself regularly, what can I do right now, no matter how small it may be, that improves life for myself or others I live with or people in my community? And whatever the answer is, do it and engage in it fully. O is for opening up. This means making room for difficult feelings and being kind to yourself. As this crisis unfolds, we'll all feel fear, anxiety, anger, sadness, guilt, loneliness, and so on. We can't stop these painful feelings from arising, but we can open up and make room for them. Acknowledge they are normal, allow them to be there even though they hurt, and treat ourselves kindly. Consider what are kind words you can say to yourself and kind things you can do for yourself to help you cope with this suffering. V is for values. Committed action should be guided by your core values. What do you want to stand for in the face of this crisis? What sort of person do you want to be as you go through this? How do you want to treat yourself and others? Your values might include love, respect, humor, patience, courage, honesty, caring, openness, kindness, compassion, or numerous others. Look for ways to sprinkle your values into your day and let them guide and motivate your actions. I is for identify resources. Identify resources for help, assistance, support, and advice. This includes friends, family, neighbors, health professionals, and emergency services. Make sure you know the emergency helpline phone numbers, including those for psychological help if required. D is for disinfect and distance. Remember to disinfect regularly and practice physical distancing for the greater good of your community. Please run through the steps of Face COVID as often as you can for the benefit of yourself, your loved ones, and all the people in your community.
Okay, I have some other videos, but maybe we should end it there since we've got 6 minutes left.
Eric, could you put that last slide up again? I noticed some people were taking pictures and I'd like to do that myself.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Let me see if I can get it back. I might have to reopen the whole thing.
Oh, well, that's okay.
I will send it out to you all in a resource document this weekend.
That'd be great. Thank you so much, Claire. Anybody have any questions or thoughts or feelings or responses to this presentation that they want to?
Claire, that slide presentation you just did, Face COVID, that's a great teaching tool. Is it okay to use that or forward it to schools, school districts, et cetera, that kind of thing?
That's on YouTube. It's the work of Dr. Russ Harris, who wrote the book, The Happiness Trap, and which I had here somewhere. But anyway, Yeah, there are all kinds of resources on YouTube around ACT that are little videos like that, that are visual and super useful. So what I'll do this weekend is I'll make up a document for Maggie that has a bunch of links, and then people can go in and explore as they want. And that one will be there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Karen.
Claire, what's the difference between mindfulness and meditation?
Well, mindfulness, you don't necessarily have to meditate, although that's really valuable, but basically it's present moment awareness and being non-judgmental and curious about what you happen to be feeling and experiencing. With students, I do a lot of using our senses to be in the present moment. Like we do mindful eating, mindful listening, we take mindful walks where we're paying attention to what's going on through our senses. And particularly for children who've had trauma, closing their eyes and meditating or trying to visualize is sometimes counterindicated. So, and for kids who really can't settle down to do meditation, we just do mindful activities where we're focusing our attention and kind of building our attention muscle through sensory activities, like could be mindful touch, like Play-Doh, and, you know, touching different things that have different textures. We do mindful smelling with essential oils or other things like spices and such. So really like using our senses to kind of bring us into the present moment. With mindfulness, we really learned that we could be in the past and not be present, or we can be in the future and not be present. Depression can sometimes be related to, you know, past experiences. Anxiety might be related to future experiences. But if we can bring ourselves into the present moment through whatever activities it happens to be, we can be in a much better space and actually be, you know, living our life, which is unfolding right now.
Anybody else have any questions or comments for Claire? I was struck by reminded by that, you know, they say that people who volunteer and do for others and are connected in that way are happier than people who don't. And the connection of when you're really caught up in your own feelings and stuff, being able to really look at it and do what you say, but then that piece of then following your values and reaching out and doing something for someone else sometimes takes you out of that personal focus on, you know, woe is me. And it always makes me feel better. So,
Hey, Maggie?
Connecting. Yeah, Rebecca.
I guess I wanted to say thanks to Claire. This is very timely. I guess I didn't anticipate this to be so timely. I have had the most emotional couple of weeks, this week in particular. So thank you. I'm looking forward to the follow-up resources. I took some pictures and scribbled some notes. It was very, very powerful. And just so I guess in terms of ACT, I spent last night and actually have been working this morning on my postcards to the HSU students. I think Romy sent out an email. So in terms of something that we can do, I've been just, you know, definitely feeling a lot of the current issues in our society with the violence against our Black community, and it's, what can I do, right? So thank you, Romy. Actually, someone from work brought this issue up, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna tell Rotary, and Romy had sent an email, you know, an hour before. So everyone get your postcards in. I missed the first 5 minutes. I don't know if Romy said anything. I've got 9, I've got number 10 here, and yeah, thanks, Claire, and yeah, thank you, that's it.
You're very welcome. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, I can relate to what you're saying, Rebecca. Just it's hard. It's and especially, you know, if you start looking into the future, it's hard. So anybody else? Well, I really appreciate that. I have a little certificate for you. I got to get back to that. I need to share this because That was really great, and thank you for that. And my mind is spinning and thinking about it, so I'm not speaking very well. But Claire, thank you. We're making a donation in your name to Tri-County Center for Independent Living. And I want to leave you all today with something that is not nearly as important as what just happened here, but I think it's something to be aware of. They finally have boneless donuts. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Have a good weekend, you guys. Take good care. Take care of yourselves and others, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.